went through your mind when you heard the words amen and a woman?
It's insane. That's all I can tell you. It is absolutely insane. In their zeal for inclusion and diversity, and their rules package, which I'll talk about in just a little bit, to say a prayer to the polytheism around the world, and Brahmin, and he's supposed to be a Christian pastor, and then to finish up with amen and a woman. It was incredible to hear. It just shows you that the extremism that this this radical Democrat Party, which is being controlled by the radical wing, is trying to foist this upon not only the House of Representatives, but also foist all of this extremism on all Americans. Ultimately, that's what they're after. And the extremism is such that it's almost unbelievable to see. Ms. Pelosi won by a razor-thin margin as Speaker yesterday, and we all looked up in the gallery, and there was a plexiglass voting booth. And all I can say is that I assume that she was so nervous about not having enough votes to win that they were bringing some COVID-positive Democrat members back to maybe vote from that booth. It was incredible. It was built. No one knew what it was until we inquired. I'm a member of the Doctors Caucus in the House of Representatives, and we are making some inquiries, and we are going to ask some real hard questions of the attending physician's office here in the House of Representatives to endanger the American people. If any of these COVID-positive members had to travel and to pass through the doors and sit up in that booth, it just tells you just how extreme and how much they're pushing this agenda on America. They want to institute a socialist dictatorship, is all I can think of.
You're exactly right, and that's what's really concerning as well, because in order to do so is they're changing language, because it changes how we even think and how we perceive the world around us. As we were discussing earlier, the word amen, it's not a gendered word in the first place, though it includes men in it. It's not a gender term, however, but it's strange that they decide to make it a political football, if you will, and they decide to make it gendered by using a woman as well. While at the same time, the House rules package, as you reference, is trying to get rid of all gendered language altogether. What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are, I'm going back to my school days when I read George Orwell's 1984. We're here. This is Orwellian. When they're changing our language and they're getting rid of genderism. We even have transgenderism in terms of this nature. We can't use anything that is not gender neutral. They are absolutely infringing upon our rights to free speech, to free thought, to free expression. And like I said earlier, it's on the Republicans in the House of Representatives now. But believe you me, this show is coming to your neighborhood soon, America. And I hope that they realize that that's why it's so important that we win these 2 Senate seats in Georgia. And it is going to be imperative that they do not control both houses of Congress. And then I'm also an objector against the Electoral College vote. So we're hoping that maybe President Trump will still have a shot, although this is not about President Trump. This is about a fair and transparent election process. And I would just simply ask, what do the Democrats have to lose? And even some of the Republicans that are opposed to us objecting, what do we have to lose by asking for an investigation of these allegations and irregularities that are so absolutely ripe, just rife with numbers of them, and over 1,000 affidavits, sworn affidavits of people who've witnessed things? I think the American people deserve to see the truth here, to shed some light on our election process, or we could lose our great democratic republic, the great United States of America.
Was there any one moment in particular where you said, this is the moment that I need to object? Was there any one specific piece of evidence that really changed you? What's exactly motivating you to object?
Well, the absolute fear that this will become commonplace. that all these irregularities, these Dominion machines, vote spikes of hundreds of thousands of votes coming in at wee hours of the morning, the pristine ballots that you know have not been folded and put into the required secrecy envelope that you know are false, 1,000 affidavits of sworn affidavits of witnesses who've witnessed and seen a lot of these irregularities. A video, we're being asked to disbelieve our own eyesight of this video in Atlanta, Georgia, in Fulton County, where you see everybody leave the room and then boxes of ballots are pulled out, and or then they start the recount again. We've got so many different things, and the peaceful transfer of power between administrations that we're so well known for around the world and been a shining example of, I think are in danger when the American people don't trust and have no confidence in an election process. And you know, if we don't have that, I think that our great republic is on the verge of going in a direction that I think is very, very dangerous for our people. The American people deserve to see the truth. And when you have nearly 75 million Americans that voted for President Trump and don't feel like their vote counted, and then you have a refusal by the Democrats and the courts and even all the way up to the Supreme Court and some Republicans, it's amazing that they don't want to investigate and look into these allegations. And I think the American people deserve to see that. I think these Republicans are on the wrong side of history here, and we keep hearing this story that we're going against the Constitution by objecting. The Constitution specifies that if there is a problem with them, then we have to object, and we are required by the Constitution to certify these electoral votes. Well, before we certify votes, we need to ascertain whether they're legal or not. If they're illegal, then they should not be certified, and I think this is what we're asking for. And now that we've got probably 100 of us in the House, we've got 12 or 13 senators, and this is very, very serious. I don't think we'll cast a more serious vote than what we'll do on the 6th. So this is America at stake.
Have you had any chance to speak to the president about this, about the Stop the Steal movement coming up here on January the 6th? Is he optimistic? Are your fellow colleagues in the House, are they optimistic as well that the president still has a fighting chance?
This is a fighter. I was on the phone with the president yesterday, and I was actually with the president last Saturday, or last Friday, I should say, and on that phone call. Several nights ago, I should say. I think I said wrong there. But he is a fighter. He is not giving up. He is determined to make sure that America has an honest election. And this is more than about President Trump. I think the man has been a tremendous leader for America. He's done things that no other president that I've seen, Democrat or Republican, do during my entire lifetime. He has been very, very effective. Doesn't always say the sweetest things, doesn't always make the sweetest tweets, but he is an effective president who loves this country, is very patriotic. He has backed our law enforcement agencies. He has rebuilt our military. He has done all he possibly can to secure our borders. He has given us the greatest economy and lowest unemployment rate that we've seen in 70 years. And then he has done an amazing job with Operation Warp Speed to develop vaccines for COVID-19. And quite frankly, I think he's done it and been opposed like no one I've ever seen, been persecuted like nothing I've ever seen before by the Democrats, the big tech and big media who have been against him from the get-go. He's had a deep state to deal with. The Department of Justice, even in the FBI, I think they've let this president down immensely. And the American people have seen no accountability for some of the shenanigans that went on with the Russian dossier, the faked Russian news, and the Mueller report, the impeachment, and everything else that this president has faced. And I think the American people deserve to see the truth, have the light of truth shine on some of these allegations. And I think, again, I will say it, America is at stake here, and I believe this is my duty, absolute duty, to be an objector, and it's also my duty to vote against this.